for the meeting. Okay, we only have 40 minutes on here anyway. After 40 minutes, I think I will go to Google Meet if we don't have time to continue. So I'm gonna share the screen here. Okay, and you'll see it's a blank page, but if you want to, I'm going to put in the chat box, I think, a link. Okay, so if you can, I'll just post this in the chat box. And if you can click the link, you'll be able to join the room, the drawing room here, so you'll be able to contribute, in fact, right? Okay, so just click on the link I posted in the chat box. You'll be able to join the room because I'm going to put slang here.
Okay.
So maybe I should just introduce myself. My name is Paul Bradley. I lived in Lyon for a long time. Now I'm back in the UK living with my parents. But I'm still teaching English online. And so I just wanted to talk about the importance of slang because when I lived in Lyon, it was very important for me to learn slang. So there was certain French words that I would like. Yeah, you can click on the page and just you'll be able to write in a minute, right? Okay, great. So I had does anybody maybe do you know any French slang? I thought we'd do like a brainstorming session because I had the clébard. Clébard, is that correct? For a dog?
Yep.
Un clébard, in fact, no?
Yep, un clébard.
Un clébard, okay, yeah. And one time I was teaching in Lyon, somebody said to me, I was teaching a lady in Lyon, somebody said to me, came into the room and said, "Tu peux me prêter ta caisse?" or something like that, right? So
Yep.
Is in caisse, yes, as a car.
Yes.
A car, right? So that's some examples of French slang. Does anybody else have any examples of French slang?
Flic, un flic.
Un flic, yes, okay. Very good, okay. That's a bit derogatory, is it not? I think. But you'll find that with a lot with slang that, yeah, it's true. These terms can have a negative connotation or a positive connotation. Or
We also call policeman la mouche or something, or le poulet, I heard.
did you? Okay.
Yeah.
This I should say this is not to insult policemen in France, right? But le poulet, is that correct? Is that
Yes,
possible
it's
to
poulet,
say
it's
that?
chicken, yeah.
Is that correct, Louis? Yes.
Yes, but it's very negative.
It's very derogatory, right?
Yeah.
Derogatory. But you will find that sometimes slang is derogatory. It can be derogatory, right? It can be positive or negative, I think, right?
Yeah.
I can say, like, I can draw a line between here, right? Does anybody else want to write any words on the screen? You just click on the letter A, and you write a word.
Okay, I'll try.
Hmm.
All you have to do is click on the letter A in the toolbar on the right, and you'll be able to write a word.
I can say une bagnole is like a car.
Bagnole is a car, right? Okay. Yeah. So you can already see that. I think for me, the slang is, the reason for slang, the reason for using slang is to be as part of an in-group, right?
Mm.
To be part of an in-group, I think, right? Which is obviously, I think, important as human beings, even though, you don't want to like necessarily imitate everybody's behavior, but it's still, what I found after living for a long time in France was that if I wanted to be part of the group just on a daily basis, I had to be able to use some of these words. People seem to accept me a bit more because they knew that if I use these words, then I could speak the language well.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I guess I'll just write that. Like people knew that if I use slang, then I could speak the language well. Yeah. So do you know any slang in English? It doesn't have to, yeah. Does anybody, I thought we would brainstorm some slang in English. I have some examples here if you don't have them, but
She's chiefed. Is it a slang or no?
to say what, sorry?
For example, she's chiefed, like she's very happy. I don't know, maybe
Can you write it in the chat box?
Yeah, I try.
Or on the screen? Maybe in the chat box. Can you write it in the chat box?
Like this, maybe I miswrote.
She's chuffed. You could say she's chuffed. In British English, anyway, I mean, there are obviously different slang is local as well to the local place, right? So in the UK, she says she's chuffed, meaning she's very happy, right?
With the same spelling or with another one?
With a U. She's chuffed.
Ah, okay.
Chuffed.
Ah, chuffed. Yeah, maybe I miswrote. Okay.
Yeah, she's chuffed with, for example, you could say, how did your exam go? I was chuffed with it. This would mean like I was really happy with it, right?
Yeah.
Anybody else want to write any slang? Does anybody else know any slang?
I'm sorry, but I'm unable to, activate how to write it on the screen.
You just have to go to the letter A on the toolbar, the capital A, and click on the letter A, and then you'll be able to write.
Okay, I'm trying.
The moment you have your paintbrush or something, I think.
Okay, just.
So.
Oh, yep.
Okay, so
when people said buck, it's like $1.
Yeah, exactly. That was one of the things I was thinking of when I was preparing this. Is a buck is like $1, like $20. It's $20. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. And but there's an equivalent in London as well for that, right? If you go in a taxi in London, what do you say? In a taxi in London.
Don't say pounds? No.
You don't say, well, pounds is the standard language.
Yeah, okay. I know it.
But does anybody know what we say in London instead of $20? If you're in a taxi in London, what do you say? The taxi driver might ask you for 20 or probably more now, probably more money than that.
Rent is different.
A grand is different. Is it a grand you're saying? Yeah, a grand. Like
when you say, I have heard for example, 20 grand.
Yeah, 20 grand is 20,000.
Oh, okay.
Can you write that on the screen? 20 grand, 20,000 pounds. So that's to do with money as well, I suppose, right?
Yep.
Correct, 20 grand, yeah.
It's grand or grants?
Grand with a D at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
to stamp it on the screen, you just have to left click to stamp it on the screen.
Okay. But I try to make a space between.
Yeah, okay, I think we understand what it was, right? So yeah, you can use the toolbar on the right to change the size and things as well.
Okay.
So yeah, in London we say 20 quid.
Quid, okay. Mm.
20 quid. I think there was an equivalent in French as well, right? For that. There used to be
Like balle.
balle, 20 balles, no? Used to
Yep.
be used with francs more, I think. I don't know if do you still use it with euros sometimes?
We can use that, but it's not. It's like familiar language.
Yeah,
So
exactly. But I mean,
when
I
we
think
talk
this is this is my
when we
point though with
talk,
slang. Sorry, Louis.
yeah. But if you want to be polite, you just say 20 euros. So
Yeah, exactly.
good.
And I think there's a very important thing there with the formal language. Like a lot of people want to use professional English, especially I've noticed, especially French people, they want to use professional English, and like very formal English, like in contrast to the slang. I'm afraid he's not available today, or things. This would be professional English, right?
Yeah.
Afraid he's not available
Yeah.
today. Sorry, available today. This would be polite English anyway. Polite, or you could call it business English, I guess.
It's a standard English.
It's standard English, yeah, exactly. But I mean, I find that quite formal. In fact, when somebody says to me, "I'm afraid he's not available today," they're being fairly formal. And sorry, somebody else.
It depends on the place where people talk. So if it's on a meeting, for example, business meeting,
Yes,
it could be great. Yeah, I'm afraid he's not available
exactly.
today. Why not?
Yeah, there was a French sociologist called Pierre Bourdieu. Pierre Bourdieu, have you heard of him? He was a sociologist. He was talking about social spaces, right? So I mean, this would be a social space, but like for example, I mean, I think you use different language. It's obvious that you use different language in a church or in a mosque or in a chemist or as in the bar, for example, or in the taxi, maybe in the taxi. But I don't think it would be too strange for the taxi driver to say, "That'll be 20 quid, mate," especially if it's let's say a lower class London taxi driver, right? Because it's also in England depends on the class as well, perhaps.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not common to say 20 quid to the taxi.
You might not say it yourself, but the taxi driver might say it, because I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised myself, to be honest with you, if a London taxi driver said to you, "That'll be 20 quid, mate," as well, right? Mate is not uncommon in England, Mate. I had a story about my
friend.
Sorry.
It's like friend, buddy in the US. No?
It's like friend or buddy, yeah, in the US, yeah, something like that, yeah. Friend or buddy. So
chum, no? They say chum also.
Friend, buddy, chum, yeah, in the US. Yeah, exactly. So it's not uncommon. I was on a bus with somebody that I know, and I got off the bus. Everybody was getting off the bus in the UK, and they would say, "Cheers, mate." Cheers means thank you in the UK. It's kind of slang as well. Cheers, mate.
Okay.
People would get off the bus and say thank you to the bus driver and say, "Cheers, mate."
Okay, because normally cheers is when we have a drink and we just we say always like thank you in French.
Yeah, exactly. To toast. Yeah,
normally,
exactly.
Yeah, for toasting.
Yeah, to raise a toast to somebody. But cheers means thank you, and you can say cheers. People were getting off the bus. Everybody was saying cheers, mate. Thank you, cheers, mate. And somebody that I knew, she got off the bus and she said, "Goodbye," or which would have been a translation from French of au revoir, because she was French, right? So Yeah, and but I wouldn't be surprised if the taxi driver would say to you like that, to say that'll be 20 quid, mate, something like that. And so yeah, this is yeah. I've heard also in French, I've heard in kebab shops, I've heard, for example, oui chef or something, right? Have you heard that in kebab, kebab shops?
It's like, yes, boss.
Yeah, exactly. You're the client, you're the boss, right?
Yeah, yes, boss.
So yeah, and then I mean, there's lots of different slang words. Does anybody else come up with anything else?
Is it a slang if we said ASAP?
I would say ASAP is more of an abbreviation.
Okay.
Yeah, it's as soon as possible. Yeah, it's an abbreviation.
You do get
It's
abbreviation, yeah.
I
Okay.
heard, but I don't know. It's a slang or some kind of familiar word. They say make MEC instead of instead of man. They say MEC mec. For women they say nana, NANA.
In French, a mec and nana.
Oh yeah, in French.
Nana, une nana, no? No?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Sure. So we have different we have some French
For
examples.
kids they say mom,
Yes,
mom, or
exactly. This is, yeah, you see this, the importance of it. We're coming up with at least 10, 12 words just like that, without thinking about it. So, and gamin and things like that, right?
Gamin, gamine, yes.
Yeah, and so you can say that it's familiar language, but it's really, I would say, just as important as the business English, really. I mean, I don't know. You want to be polite, of course, on the phone, and if you want to get a job speaking English, then yes. But if to interact, in fact, with people locally, it's an important thing to know. No slang.
Do you know some words that we can use for business, like not very familiar but common in business?
So, for example, you might say, "Do you fancy a coffee?" For example, right?
You fancy?
Do you fancy a coffee? It's a bit, it's a bit like would mean.
Would you like? Would
you like a coffee? Exactly. So the polite form would be, would you like a coffee? So perhaps it would depend on who you're talking to as well. Would you like a coffee? It means, est-ce que ça vous dit un café or something like that?
Okay.
Yeah, which you maybe perhaps is you could say it's familiar language. It's sort of informal language, but it can be useful to relax the atmosphere. No? You can use I think you can use things to relax. You can use language to relax the atmosphere and be friendly, in fact. No?
Yeah.
That's the point, I think, of it as well. Sometimes I'm not saying use it all the time, but relax the atmosphere and be friendly, because, and I know that sometimes it tends to be in French, it tends to go the other way. With vous, people don't want to sometimes relax the atmosphere, or that was my experience anyway. I didn't seem to have what is your take on that?
Well, what I have understood, that if someone is saying to in the office,
yes,
and you don't want to be friendly, you can just continue to use vous.
Vous, yeah, that's what I understood too. Yeah.
And by chance, like that person, you don't want to be friendly, that person will one day use vous. I mean, it's a kind of non-written, I don't know,
Non-written rule.
verbal etiquettes. I don't know if I can say that.
Okay, let's just think what the other prayer here. Okay, well, I just had I had a few other words like I put down on the on the advert. Call blimey means wow. Did you see that plonker in the old banger? Plonker is a word which comes from only Fools and Horses. Only Fools and Horses, which was a British sitcom, situation comedy on TV. Plonker comes from a character called Del Boy. In the old banger, a banger is very similar to une caisse, but a banger is an old car.
Okay.
An old banger is an old car. Is an old car.
It also means something trendy, a banger. No?
It's a banger can also be a something that explodes. Not a big explosion, but something that explodes.
We also say a banger for a song or something that is a
banger can be a sausage, I think, as well.
Sausage, yeah.
Sausage on the barbecue, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
It can also be a banger, can be a what do you call it on fireworks night? Where you un pétard, en fait. Banger.
Also for a music which can make you dance, or which is they call banger. I don't know. It's a huge banger.
It's like a success, or
I've not heard that. Sorry.
International music, like it's very
It's famous in
I'm not sure about that.
time.
Yeah, maybe that's American. I don't know, because I was looking at American
it's
slang,
American,
and I don't understand a lot of American slang. We also have something called Cockney rhyming slang, which is not used very much. So I wouldn't advise you to use it, but there is Cockney rhyming slang, which is within a certain part of London. So we say, and I don't think this is very, I don't know why they say that, but you say that the trouble and strife. Do you know what the trouble and strife is in Cockney rhyming slang?
No.
Nope.
Is the wife.
Okay.
Which is a bit misogynist, right? But
yeah,
that's what it is. And the apples are the apples and pears. The apples and pears is. Do you know what the apples and pears are?
no.
Children?
The stairs. This is the stairs. It's the stairs, the apples and pears. And the trouble and strife is the wife. And so
strife, what does it mean literally?
Strife means is similar to trouble.
Okay.
Strife means a lot, a lot of hassle, a lot of trouble. So you can see it rhymes. That's the principle of Cockney rhyming slang. Just like you have, similar to what you have in Paris, you have verlan, or in France you have verlan, I don't know, and then it's backwards. So, but this is rhyming. What else did I have? Like a guy or a bloke, a guy in American English, or a bloke. A bloke in British English, in fact.
Yeah.
You see the bloke down the road. What did I? We had the cops already. No, the cops. A fleek.
Oh, yeah.
Had a fleek. The cops. The cops is the British version of police, right? And then we have various other. I put it on the advert. To give someone a right bollocking is to give someone to tell someone off. Regarder quelqu'un, to tell someone off.
Okay.
And then there's also yes, I already had my mate. To do sod all means to do nothing. To do sod all means to do nothing. I just want to finish what I've written down on the advert. Just to do sod all means to do, to be lazy and to do nothing. Down. What is the chippy? What's the chippy?
Chip.
In French?
In what can you tell me what it is in English? The chippy. If I'm going down the chippy in the UK.
The downtown? No.
It's down. No, not. It's not downtown. Downtown is, it's the chip shop, the fish and chip shop.
Okay.
The chippy. Yeah. No, downtown would be an American. Well, you see, if you said downtown in the UK, you would have. It would be American. It would be considered kind of an American type of slang, perhaps. You know, because a lot of American language tends to be considered sort of slangy in the UK. So, for example, a kid. If you say a kid in the UK, some people do say kid, but it's a child. In fact, the real British word, right? What else do I have? You can say a pizza place would be a pizza restaurant. That would be American too, a pizza place. And then, of course, we have, for example, sorry, we have 10 minutes. So we have stuff, right? Stuff is come from American,
Things.
yeah, things, which is come from American
Things.
English. So stuff could be any kind of, you know, I have a lot of stuff on my desk here, a lot of different items on my desk. And then, you know, anything could be like my tea could be stuff because it's a liquid, or anything that's a mass could be stuff, right? The difference between stuff and thing and stuff is that it's not countable. Stuff is not countable, so it's like a mass. So anything, any kind of jam or marmalade could be just this stuff. Marmite could be stuff, you know. Yeah.
One time I've heard this word. I can write like vino.
Vino. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, that would be as if you're learning using Spanish in English.
It's wine, no?
It's like for a cheap wine.
I don't know. No. I mean, I've heard. If you
I
say
think
that
it's
in English,
in
it could be.
Italian.
Well,
Wine.
I mean, I speak some Spanish, so it does work in Spanish, right? Vino. I think it's just wine. I think it just means wine.
British man told me this word. That was he was talking about cheap wine, so he said it's like vino.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep.
I'm unsure whether that is true, that it would be just for cheap wine, but I don't know.
Research.
Yeah.
And what about, for example, when we talk about a talented, very talented person, so who can do a lot of activities, can we say jack all the trades?
A jack of all trades. Yeah, a jack of all trades. Yeah, a jack of all trades. Exactly right.
Yeah. Is it a slang or an idiom? No,
it's just a
maybe more of an idiom. I don't know how to classify that, but yeah, you can say in English a jack of all trades. It might be somebody who is a handyman, so he can do plumbing, he can fix your Hoover, he can fix your washing machine, he can fix everything in your house, for example. Maybe that might be a jack of all trades.
It's not exactly the same, but I get confused sometimes between this and there is a phrase like he or she has many feathers on her hat, kind of.
Yeah,
but that is
many feathers in a hat. Yeah, these are more idioms.
Yeah.
That's more idioms.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Maybe we'll do a webinar on idioms one time, but I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. That's another thing, really, idioms, right? You can say fags. What's a fag? In the UK?
Fashion? No, it's something new.
It's a cigarette.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah, a fag is a cigarette.
Like une clope in French.
Like in club, exactly, in French. Yeah, exactly. So I'm not sure that I don't think that all words, I mean, when I was learning Spanish, I was asking these things in Spanish and nobody was coming up with them. So I don't think that it's the case that all the same words have the same slang in different languages. But the way I see it is it's like bricks, you know, you have it's like bricks. You have like a brick wall like that. And then you have like the normal word, and then you have the other word built on top of it, sort of thing. So you could have man and guy, right? Try to make this smaller because it's going to fit otherwise. You might have man, and then you have guy. Maybe there was a guy, right? And you know, beginners in English don't know these words, right? It's only when you get to a B1, B2 level that you start to know these words. A2, B1, B2 level, that you begin to know to learn these words. Okay. Okay. There's a good website on the internet which is called www.lo.org, which is quite. It's not particularly slang, but you will find words like stuff and kid, and a lot of that kind of words on that website, lo.org.
Can you please give that website again?
Yeah, so I've just written on the top of the page here.
Okay, thank
Can you
you.
see the screen? www.lo.org.
Yeah.
With 3 L's.
Thank you.
I've been using that for a number of years teaching. It's a free website to learn English. I've been using that for a number of years. It's quite, yeah, okay. Okay, guys. Good. I think I'm going to finish the first part here, guys. I'm going to give you another meeting link if you want to continue the conversation a little bit longer. But it's up to you. I'll put it in the chat box. And we can go to Google Meet because this is a free session of Zoom. But I'm going to stop the recording now, I think, unless anybody has anything else to add.
No.
I just wanted to know something, but I saw that they use many times bonkers, but it's not a slang. Maybe it's a.
Yeah, bonkers is kind of it's a slang word, which is a euphemism as well. Because a euphemism is a word which is refers to something else, right? Something that you don't want to talk about sometimes, often. To be bonkers is to be crazy, right? Which is my opinion is a total amalgam of things, right? I don't think that you know well, crazy can be used in a number of different ways, right? The word crazy, bonkers, yeah. But you know, the crowd are going crazy if they're overexcited or something like that, but it's I mean, I'm always interested in psychology, and so in mental health, it seems to be that to be crazy seems to be an amalgam of lots of different things, but yeah, bonkers would mean crazy in English. Euphemism for crazy. Also a slang word. Yeah, there are a lot of other slang words to say that too, right?
I have a question also. What about business slang? Like in French, for example, ouvrir une boîte. So this kind of
to open a company. Is there a word? Yeah. Is there a slang word for company, for example?
Yeah.
I can't think of one. What company? You could say a firm, but that's not slang, right? A firm is not slang. It's a company.
She said like running a business. Business is like it's more familiar.
To run a business, well, it's not really. No, that's not really familiar. That's not familiar. That's standard language to run a business. Okay, I think we're going to stop. And if you want to copy and paste the link from because we only have a minute left. So if you want to copy and paste the link to go to Google Meet, then we can do that.
Okay.
'cause otherwise, I don't think Zoom is going to let us go on until we'd have to make a break. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen now, and then if you want to continue talking for a few minutes, I can continue talking for a few minutes on Google Meet. Otherwise, I'm going to stop the meeting and the recording now. So, can you see the link in the chat box?
Yeah, yeah,
So copy and paste that.
yeah.
So I just want to thank you because I should go. I can't continue, but thank
That's no
you a
problem.
lot for your lesson. I appreciate it.
Okay. Oh, by the way, one more thing. I'm running. I'm trying to start English lessons as well. I have a WhatsApp group. So I just posted the link in the chat to the WhatsApp group as well.
Oh, it's great. I will use this link. Okay.
Yeah, if you want to join, it's just English lessons. I'm trying to constitute English lessons, but there will be things on there also about English.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Okay, bye. Anybody else want to carry on joining, or is that enough for you guys? Or well, if you
I don't know if I'm the only one. Better I quit. If there are others, I will.
Okay. I can't hear you, Louis.